Hello, in this video, let us discuss what is qualitative research and what are the different types of research coming under qualitative research. There are questions from this topic like why do we use qualitative research method in education? Briefly explain the following qualitative research methods such as ethnomethodology, grounded theory and case study. In other question paper it was like what is qualitative research? What is the difference between qualitative and quantitative research, and give examples. All sort of questions are there in the question paper. In today's video, let us discuss this particular questions. In that they ask for three methods: ethnomethodology, grounded theory and case study. There are other two important methods as well. They are phenomenology and at the same time the narrative research. So let us see how can we define a qualitative research. The term qualitative research is an umbrella term to refer several research strategies where the data collected is rich in description of people, places and conversation. But in the case of quantitative research, the data collected are in the form of numbers and we can easily analyze with the help of statistical procedures. But here in qualitative research, it is a bit difficult to analyze it through statistical procedures. Then why do we use it in educational field? It addresses how and why research questions. Here in the research we are asking how it happened, why it is happening. All these questions is answered by qualitative research. Then second point, it enables the deeper understanding of experiences, phenomena and context. In a particular context, what is happening, what are the experiences, the deeper understanding of these processes are taking place in the case of qualitative research. Qualitative research allows you to ask questions that cannot be easily put into numbers to understand. We know that we cannot measure with numbers. Here in a qualitative research or in many research field, we cannot measure it with numbers. In that case, we are using the qualitative research method. Here data must always be understood in relation to the context of their production. In different contexts, same data in different contexts will give different explanation. Like that, here also we are looking at the data based on the context which happened. It is valuable for interpreting findings in a specific context or capturing how a given issue may be understood from different angles. Here we can studying a particular phenomena from different angle, from the different viewpoint of different people. Qualitative research produces rich, detailed and valid process data based on the participants and investigators' perspectives and interpretation. Here we can see the perspective and interpretation of two group of people. Which are they? The participants in one side and other side it is the investigators or the researchers. 5 common types of qualitative research are grounded theory, narrative research, ethnomethodology, case study and phenomenology. Then let us see what is ethnomethodology. First of all, let us see what is the meaning of ethnomethodology. Ethno means the members of a cultural group. Methodology means what? The different types of methods and practices followed by these people. So we can define ethnomethodology like it is a form of social inquiry or a study of everyday method people use for the production of social order. We can see that in every culture there is a special social order. That social order is followed by all the people, all the members, all the participants of that culture. Enquiry into the social order is conducted by a method called ethnomethodology. In a social situation, whenever we face a problem, the individual or participants in that society will analyze and criticize that specific situation. How he is criticizing it based on the norms and values in the society. This process is done by ethnomethodology. In a social setup, we can see that each and every time whenever we are doing an action, we will give verbal explanation for our action. That we can see in a social situation. Why everyone is giving this explanation? In order to make understand others that we are also following the norms and regulations of the society. Each one has their own stand and they wanted to show others that they are following the cultural values of their society. It is based on etc principle. What is etc principle? In day to day life there will be something left unsaid which could be understood by others. Everyone know that it is happening there, but it is not said by anyone. That sort of situations are also there in the social reality. We can further say that the account and meaning of any situation are depend on the context or nature of the situation. Any phenomenon depend entirely on the in which context it is happening. Location, time of person present there, intention of the people involved in that, all these are part of that particular phenomenon. A phenomenon happening in a particular context differ from the same phenomenon happening in the another context. So based on the context there is difference in the phenomenon. Then method of ethnomethodology. Which are the methods we are using here? Open-ended and in-depth interviews. Open-ended questions means the subjective answers others can give. The participants can give their own view or subjective answers. And then in-depth interviews, participant observation, videotaping, the documentary method of interpretation, and preaching experiments. All these are the methods of ethnomethodology. Whenever we are using all these methods, that highlights a phenomena or highlight a problem that is happening in a particular context. Documentary method of interpretation. It is something people constantly using as they continually interpret and reinterpret each other's behavior and look for the underlying pattern. Because whenever we see a phenomenon, we will analyze it and we are analyze each and every part of that. In what context it is happening. Empathetically we should think. We should think in other people's shoes even. Because what way they are thinking. If I am in their place, what will be my attitude. All these things are happening in documentary method of interpretation. Next is breaching experiment. What is happening in breaching experiment? The researchers disrupt the ordinary activity. What is happening in the society? Usually that the researcher disrupt that. That is, everyday activities can be breached intentionally for us to know that we are creating the social reality and observe the way people react to it. When we are breaching an activity, in which way the participants are behaving in that particular situation. The researchers are watching that and he is writing his observation and he is interpreting that. The next one is grounded theory research. Next example for qualitative one is grounded theory research. What is grounded theory research? Grounded theory is a qualitative method that enables us to study a particular phenomenon and process and discover new theories. Here we are making new theories out of our data. These theories are based on the collection and analysis of the real world data. We are collecting the real world data we are collecting, and what is we are observing really we are collecting that, and then based on this data we are formulating a theory. Here theory is grounded in the data collected. Theory is grounded in the data, so that we can call it as a grounded theory research. So there is no research, so there is no theory as such, but we are observing many things and it is an inductive approach. We are observing things and we are reaching into a generalization, or we are reaching into a theory. That is known as grounded theory research. Grounded theory research is an inductive approach where new theories are derived from the data. Here, the process of data collection, data analysis, and theory development happens through an iterative process. What is iterative process? Actually, iterative process is the data collection. We are collecting the data in such a way that we have lot of data. There is no further data present. Then, iterative data collection is the method in which data collection and analysis occur until you reach theoretical saturation. We got all the theories related to that particular phenomenon. There is a saturation of theories that is known as iterative process. The point at which additional data add no additional insight into your new theory. If we collect any additional data, there won't be any change in our theory. That way we are collecting the data. That process is known as iterative process of data collection. Now let us see, when should you use grounded theory? When there is no existing theory in order to explain a particular phenomena, or otherwise there is a theory exists but its potential is incomplete to explain that particular phenomena. Both these cases we are using grounded theory research. Which are the steps of grounded theory research? Usually there are 4 steps in a grounded theory research. In stage 1, we produce certain concepts. These concepts are arrived from interviews and observations and the reflections. Then, when we got few concepts, what is the second stage? Data is organized into categories. Whatever data we got, we are organizing that data into different categories. Then, third stage, as these categories develop, they are compared with one another and 2 or more competing theories are identified. Then we compare these categories and we can identify few theories out of that. Then what is the fourth stage or last stage? The final stage involves the formulation of theory. At last we are formulating a theory. So there are 4 steps. First step, we collect different concepts from our observation and then we are organizing these concepts or organizing this data into different categories, and from these categories we will compare all the categories we got and we will find out few probable theories out of that, and at last we formulate a theory. All these are the 4 stages of grounded theory research. Then what are the processes involved in the grounded theory research? First process is coding. What is coding? We are writing some words whenever we are observing or we are doing the interview. We won't get enough time to explain it properly and write in full sentences, but we are using some words and we are coding that. That process is known as coding. Then next one is what theoretical memoing. It is look at some existing theory related to the present concepts and attempt to develop a connection. Then in the theoretical memoing, what we are doing it, whatever theory exists based on our observation, that we have to find out and we have to develop a connection. Then third one is what? Compile the findings. Final process, we do the write-up of our findings. That is the final step, that is compile the findings. Let us see an example for grounded theory research. In an HR department of company, we can ask questions like why employees are frustrated by their work. How can we find out this? We can interview the employers and employees can explain what they feel is lacking, what they are lacking, what is the reason for frustration. HR then gather data from all the employees, then find out the possible reason for frustration and try to solve it strategically. So this we can say as an example for grounded theory research. Next is case study. Case study is an in-depth study of one person or a group or an event. In case study, nearly every aspect of the subject's life history is studied and we are analyzing it to see the pattern and causes of behavior. The purpose of case study is to learn as much as possible about an individual or a group so that the information can be generalized to many others. Then what are the advantages of case study? One of the greatest advantage of case study is that it allows researchers to investigate things that are often difficult to replicate in a lab. In a laboratory condition, we cannot do that. That sort of research, or we can do the findings through case study. Then it allows the researchers to collect a large amount of data, all the aspects of that phenomenon or all the aspects, all the behavior of a particular person we can collect through case study method. Case study method give researcher the chance to collect information on rare and unusual cases. Sometimes researchers get rare cases. Sometimes permit researcher to develop hypotheses that can be further explored in experimental research. This helps the researcher to reach or develop a hypothesis that this hypothesis we can make use in the case of experimental research. What are the disadvantages? A case study can't necessarily be generated to a larger population. Sometimes the cases are rare, so that we cannot do generalize, or we cannot generalize to a larger population. We can't demonstrate cause and effect relationship here, may not be scientifically rigorous, and then it can lead to personal bias. Sometimes it leads to personal bias. These are the disadvantages of case study. For example of a case study, a woman experiencing symptoms of the condition called hysteria. In order to find out the probable causes of the disease, we can do a case study. We can do a detailed study, and then we can collect the data based on what are the special behavior she is showing during the attack, what all feelings are going through her mind. That way we can do the interview, in-depth studies of her particular behavior, and then we can do a detailed analysis of the characters of a hysteric woman. This we can say as an example for case study.